Does anyone in the Bible take the Lord's name in vain or swear?
Okay. Well, I do think, I alluded to it earlier, so throughout the Old Testament scripture in particular, we do see false prophets where they're standing up, making prophecies in the name of the Lord. And then, that actually is taking the name of the Lord in vain. Okay. Right? Because they're prophesying and in essence, they're lying about who God is, because there's in other words, if you prophesy or you tell an oath, it doesn't come to pass, then what does that say about the God that, you and who you said this prophecy is going to come to pass according to, to this God? And so it actually is taking the name of the Lord in vain. So to me, the false prophets are the ones that you see throughout Scripture that is like the clearest example of taking the name of the Lord, our God, in vain. Okay. As far as swearing is concerned, I honestly couldn't think of a time in Scripture where swearing in the way that we're talking about it in our contemporary language would be there. Okay. Yeah. Like where, in other words, there's not there's the statements about like what I read in Ephesians, or we could go to Colossians and read a similar passage about not allowing unwholesome talk to be there.
Does anyone unwholesomely talk in the Bible?
See, that's kind of the thing. Like
you wouldn't want to put that in the Bible.
Yeah, you don't really find that in the Bible.
But there's a whole bunch of other bad stuff that they talk about in the Bible. So,
well, yeah, there's. Obviously, there's bad stuff that happened in the Bible. There's murder and betrayal and adultery, and we see these things in Scripture. But as far as it recording, someone just going off on a tangent, no, you don't have that.
There's nothing like Adam and Eve realized they ate the fruit, and they're like, oh.
No,
There's none of that in the Bible?
None of that in the Bible.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.